Hi, everybody. Joe Chaffee here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. And coming up tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, we've got two weather systems coming into the Northeast and Northern Mid Atlantic states. And that is all ahead of the holiday weekend. So we'll have the complete outlook. We've got some stormy weather out in the West, too. So we'll be talking about it all tonight at 7:35 p.m. on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. As of midday, we've got winter storm warnings up for north central New York, and that's ahead of this first low that is moving eastward. Advisories surrounding that, but mostly north of I 90. We have also advisories up for Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and parts of southern Maine. We have wind advisories up for western Massachusetts and across much of the upper Hudson Valley and western and southern New York, also now for northeastern Pennsylvania. In the west, advisories for northern Nebraska and southern South Dakota that turn into winter storm warnings across Montana and northwestern Wyoming. Back to advisories in Idaho and parts of Washington state, and we have winter storm warnings up for the Cascades and for the Sierra Nevada mountains. Right now, as we look at the surface map this morning, we're seeing low pressure north of Lake Superior. You see it here on the Canada side. There's another low analyzed in Lake Michigan, a trailing warm front well to the south. And here in the Northeast and to the northern mid-Atlantic states, at least the day is starting out quite nice. The second system we're talking about is in the Rockies now, and that's going to be moving southeastward today and tonight and setting up a move toward the Virginia coast Friday night into Saturday morning. The satellite loop indicating clouds approaching from the west, but at least the day started with sunshine for sure. Clouds will be starting to increase as we go through the afternoon. And that's going to put a cap on temperatures, upper 30s if you're north of New York City, lower and maybe even some middle 40s as you go further south into Delaware and Maryland and northeastern Virginia. And then you also see the second area that is coming out of the Rockies, and that's going to make its move, as we said, to the southeast. And this is what's going on the radar at the moment. Some snow in eastern Michigan. Also starting to see some snow showers coming into western New York and then back up on the Canada side, including Toronto, and then going back up into northern Michigan. In the west, the radars are busy. You've got patches of snow in the Rockies and rain with some mountain snows up in the Pacific Northwest. WPC, as far as moisture is concerned, and this is taking us out to the next 7 days, we've got big rain and snow expected in California again, several to many inches up and down the entire California coastline, and also in the form of snow over the Sierra Nevadas. They'll be measuring it in feet over the next 7 days, a little bit less at the Cascades. Here in the Northeast, this first disturbance producing a quarter to a half an inch. The second disturbance, more on the order of, say, a tenth to a quarter of an inch, with a few areas of a half inch indicated in parts of southern Indiana and also parts of northeastern Tennessee. These systems are moving quickly, and they're not going to be big producers of snow. Now, this is a little bit tough because this has the two systems in the next 72 hours. So when you combine the both of them, this is the probability for at least 2 inches. The dark blue is a 40% probability running along the coast of southeastern and southern New England, the lower Hudson Valley down through New Jersey, and just north and west of the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area. I think they're going to have to tug that down a bit further to the south. Also, high probabilities in the Appalachians in eastern West Virginia, as well as high probabilities of 80 to 100% across upstate New York. And when we put the probability of 4 in, that is really centered around that area in north central New York and in the Adirondacks, where we have winter storm warnings and also winter weather advisories that extend, as we said, into Vermont and New Hampshire. So our first system was a low that goes to our north tonight across upstate New York. There'll be some snow. Maybe the snow makes it as far south as, say, Route 84 to give a coating to maybe an inch or so as you go again further north, go north of I-90, and then we start talking about amounts in the 3, 4, 5 inch range. Plus, on the southern end of that, across eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey into southern New England, There could be a couple of rain showers. Then that's going to go out. We'll have a chilly day tomorrow with maybe some sunshine to start and arriving clouds. This next system doesn't have a whole lot of support, and it is going to take a track further to the south. You can see the GFS on the new GFS has the low in North Carolina, in central North Carolina, that moves off the Virginia coast. There's no mechanism to cause this system to deepen, but somebody's going to wind up with a couple of inches, and I think the best chances for that will be from, say, central New Jersey, south of Route 195, southeastern Pennsylvania, down into northeastern Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, the Delmarva Peninsula, Washington, Baltimore could be in line for a few inches. And once that low goes by, we'll have colder air for Saturday night and Sunday. The rest of the holiday, this gets out of here, by the way, by early to mid morning on Saturday. So weather conditions will improve Saturday afternoon. Much of the eastern part of the United States looking at nice weather for Sunday and for Monday, President's Day. And going into next week, doesn't look like much will be happening until maybe late in the week when we'll start to get weather systems coming that are coming into the west, moving towards the eastern part of the United States. So much of the next week could wind up being dry and rather nice. So we will, of course, be going through all the afternoon guidance products, and then we'll rehash it tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time.